I'm Jimmy Ballard, owner of Top Cut Events, and you're listening to Dead Draw Gaming Podcast like no one ever was.
What's up, Dead Drawers, and welcome to episode number 66 of Dead Draw Gaming, a Pokemon TCG podcast like no one ever was. We have a super exciting episode for you guys today, so if you are hyped just like we are, make sure to hit that like button down below and share this podcast with all of your friends. So before we get into today's super exciting episode, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys to my co-hosts who are with me every single week. Hello, Danny. Hello, Darrin. What is going on today, boys?
What up, everybody? Darrin here. I am back from my adventure in Las Vegas. Had a great time. Happy to be home. I'm happy that today was a rather warm day. It was in the 30s. Stuff was melting. It was nice. So I didn't have to come back to a very abrupt weather change because it was in the 40s and 50s where I was. I'm glad to be here and recording another podcast with you guys. Danny, how are you doing?
40 degrees yesterday.
40? Holy smokes.
40. Yeah, it was nuts.
It was nuts. It was nice and warm. I'm good. I'm doing really good. I had a really good week. We had a really good week. This was actually probably the single biggest week of Dead Draw Gaming. Most important week. At least has the potential to be. There's just a lot of good stuff that happened. I was super busy, got a ton of stuff done. It was just very productive. Life is good. Everything is good. I have no complaints this week. No jokes either, which is kind of sad. I should come up with a joke.
I don't believe that for a second.
That I don't have a joke?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Let me tell you the problem. So now I feel like I have this giant, like, monkey. Is it a monkey that you carry around on your back? Like this big thing on my back, because I've basically been labeled by the community as the funny one on the podcast. If you guys know what I'm talking about. So I feel like I owe it to the community to provide comedy. And I got nothing right now. So I'm going to have to think of something to make everybody laugh. Let me know if you guys have anything and just type it into our chat so I can take credit for it. Don't say it out loud.
I've never been funny in my entire life, so I can't help you.
Oh. Darrin?
I'm often funny, but Jace my wife would say no. Never once.
Oh. Shoot. Okay. Well, I'll think of something. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing really well. Kind of like Danny mentioned, lots of exciting things going on for us. And I can't wait until we get to share all the exciting things with you guys because, oh my gosh, it is like the best thing ever, probably. I don't think I'm overstating that.
Blab it all out right now.
So
we shouldn't even talk about it. Let's move on. What are we talking about today?
We have a pretty exciting agenda. So we're going to start out this week like we do every single week. We're going to give you guys some Pokemon news. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming regionals in Dallas and the upcoming Oceania Intercontinental Championships. Then we're going to get into our weekly top 5. Then we're going to talk a little bit about some Ultra Prism, just the hype surrounding the set, when we're going to start doing all the singles, what we're going to be doing for content with the set. Then we're going to jump into our question of the week, our buy, sell, trade of the week, our open discussion, and our wrap. And somewhere along the way, you guys, there is going to be a Danny box.
Danny box?
A Danny box. It's going to be very exciting, I think. I have no idea what it's about.
Either.
Nor have I ever had any idea what it's about. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Awesome. Let's start out with Pokemon news. Darrin, do you have any Pokemon Go news?
I do. I actually
played a little bit in Las Vegas.
I played so much Pokemon Go. I actually got a 98% nearly flawless Primeape while I was there, so that was fun.
Primeape GX?
Yeah, practically. I mean, 98% Primeape, that's pretty darn good.
Yo, but like, how many Oh man, I imagine that everywhere, like along your drives, was just a Pokestop or a gym.
I probably walked 20 miles this weekend, and I had Pokemon Go going the entire time, practically.
Wow. Dang.
Good for you.
It was fun.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun. I hatched a lot of eggs, and I filled out some of my Pokédex. It was great.
It probably saves you a lot of money playing Pokemon Go instead of playing slot machines.
I think so. I think I did all right.
And hatching an egg is kind of like hitting a jackpot.
It can be, or else you can get a, Zigzagoon or something dumb.
Or Pidgey.
I don't know if you can get Pidgeys anymore. I can't remember what the eggs are. But yeah, you can get something great or not.
Fair enough.
But
So what's your
actually,
news?
I have some great stuff. Pokemon Go, are you ready for this? Was the #1 top grossing app in Apple's App Store over the holiday season.
Really?
That's kind of nuts.
That is very surprising based on how long it's been out now.
Well, it re-entered the #1 spot on the 21st, is what this article says, which I found at PokemonGoHub.net. It says that it had to do with the reintroduction of their new and improved AR Plus, which actually isn't that great, but people wanted to at least try it out. And the water event was a huge success, as well as, Gen 3 had just come out as well, so everyone was catching their new starters, and it was just a really good time to play Pokemon Go. And then my other big piece of Pokemon Go news is that Seviper and Zangoose have swapped regions, so I hope you got your Zangoose when you could, because now America has Seviper. And likewise, if you live in Europe, Asia, or Australia, I hope you got your Seviper, because now you got Zangoose.
They couldn't have thought of better Pokemon to have as region-specific ones.
I honestly wish they would have done something better as well. Minun and Plusle are also regional, so there you go.
So I think that the reason that it was Seviper and Zangoose is because those Pokemon, they were version exclusives in Gen 3, and they were also known to be like rivals to each other.
Yes.
Yep, those two things are probably why those got selected.
Could have been Girafarig.
That's a Gen 2 Pokemon, so...
Fair enough. Any other Pokemon Go news you got, Darrin?
Just that Kyogre's still the next one coming, and I guess they nerfed it a little bit. They took away the Dragon Tail attack from its fast attack. And then the speculation is that Rayquaza will be the next one after that.
Guess I'm going to need to get me some raid passes. Darrin, we're going to catch 1,000 Rayquazas.
Well, for any aspiring Pokemon goers out there, you only need to be level 5 to participate in a raid battle. I'm pretty sure.
Close.
Oh, dang.
Just kidding. I'm higher than level 5.
Actually, I do have one more piece of news. So the latest EX raid invites have gone out, and there's a lot of anger right now at Niantic because experienced players kind of got shafted this time around. A lot of the EX raid passes went out to new raiders who had never gotten it before. So, just having this exclusive EX battle to get Mewtwo, it's just kind of old. It should be hopefully soon given out to everybody. It creates a lot of angst. You work really hard going to a lot of raids, and then you don't get a raid pass. It can be really frustrating.
I think I did read something about that earlier today.
Yeah, it's on every news site. It's on Polygon and just everywhere that has any Pokemon news.
That's too bad. All right, well, we do have some other news as far as non-TCG related stuff goes, so we'll jump over to the VGC side of things and talk about that for a minute. Dan, have you started playing Ultra Sun or Ultra Sun? Is Ultra Sun what you have?
Yep.
Have you started playing it at all yet?
Nope.
Well, so this is just an article quick from GameSpot.com. The first distribution of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is coming to an end soon. So Nintendo is giving away a special rock ruff for the new titles until January 10th, meaning that if you're listening to this on the day it gets released, you probably have an hour to get yours still. What makes this particular Rockruff different from those you could acquire in-game is that it comes with the Own Tempo ability, which allows it to evolve into the new Dusk form Lycanroc. I know we've talked about this before, but I just wanted to bring note to the fact that it was ending right away. So, Dan, you can still get it.
Yeah, I better make sure I do that.
You better... or you could just keep Ultra Sun sealed for another 10 years and it'll be worth more money.
Well, it's already in my DS.
It's in the DS and you just haven't turned it on?
I mean, I thought I said this. I've played it long enough to pick Rowlet, and that's it.
Oh, right, yes. Yep.
Did you say that?
Yeah, he did. I remember.
Yep. So that's all I've done. So I've got like 20 minutes of game time in. And that's
It took you that long to choose Rowlet?
I was probably doing something. You know what? I don't know.
Oh, I was just asking. I don't know what the storyline is like at the beginning of the game, so I didn't know.
I remember in Sun and Moon, like the first whole bit took forever to get through, so it's not unbelievable.
Wow. It's crazy. All right, some additional news, VGC related, I guess. Details for the next battle competition have been announced. This is the 2018 International Challenge January competition. This is a double battle competition using standard VGC rules, with players being able to earn CP to go towards qualification for the World Championships. All Pokemon will be raised to level 50 for the duration of the competition. Registration runs from January 18th to January 25th. Battles will run from January 26th through January 28th. All entrants will get the 50 battle points. So keep that date in mind, those dates in mind, I guess I should say, if you are playing competitively. And then the second Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon global mission has begun. The global mission's theme is to win at the Battle Agency. The goal is to reach 100,000 wins by January 22nd. If the mission is a success, the participating players get 2,000 festival coins or 4,000 festival coins if they have a global link account tied to their game, while if it's a failure, players will get 1,000 festival coins or 2,000 if they have a global link account tied to their game. So that's just a little bit of VGC news for anybody who's been playing it, which would be different than us a little bit, most likely because we just don't have the time to do it as much as we would like.
That's true.
So that is non-TCG related stuff. And then we did get some TCG related stuff, so we can jump into that unless you guys have additional non-TCG related items.
Not me.
Nah.
Awesome. So Dan, why don't you take us into, I don't know, pick one, anyone you want to talk about?
How about Beast Ring?
Is that the one you're most excited about?
I think so. This is pretty good.
Yes.
So Beast Ring is an item card that reads, you may only play this card when your opponent has 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy, reveal them, and attach them to one of your Ultra Beast Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. You may play as many item cards as you like during your turn before you attack. Bruh.
Wow,
This is nuts.
that's the word I was gonna say. This is bruh.
Yeah, can you imagine having multiples of these in your hand when your opponent has 3 or 4 left? Like, you can power up any Ultra Beast as much as you want. Because this is just an item card. Like, that's insane.
So good in like Buzzwole. It's going to be really good in.
Mm-hmm.
The new Necrozmas. The Duskmane and Downform Necrozmas.
It's almost like you just let your
Down
opponent
ring.
take 2 prizes, so that way you can play this card.
Yeah. Like this is just going to be very good. Very good.
Yeah, this mid-game swing is the Ultra Beast support that we've been waiting for, and it is good. Ugh.
Or, hear me out. You play a Guzzlord in 2 of these, and Turbo Dark, which is not that good anymore, but still. Boom. There's 4 energy.
Yeah, I mean, Guzzlord doesn't really see any play right now because of its energy requirements, I guess. And the fact that it's just really not that good. I mean, you need 5 energy to do 180.
Yep.
Which is pretty crazy. But yeah, you could manually attach for the turn, play 2 broken beast rings. I'm just going to call it broken beast ring. And then you're all set. You're good to go. Swinging for 180.
This
Not
is
too bad.
silly. This card is silly. Like it's really good. The only thing is, potentially, it's dead. It's a dead card for a good chunk of your game, right? Potentially.
Okay, but
I'm sure we're gonna basically say the same thing. It's the ability for you to swing back from your first KO or second or third. Like this is so strong.
So
Yeah.
imagine your opponent is down to one prize card. And you use Nihilago's GX attack to give him 2 more. And then you have beast rings.
I was going to say Kartana. Wait, what is the one where you add another prize card so they've got 4 and then you put them back up to 5 after you play your beast rings? It's like a super troll deck.
Is that circuitry that does that?
I can't remember which one it is. I do think this is a good card. I mean, it's very specific, obviously, to certain decks, but as far as being situational, because, yeah, for sometimes it's a dead card. I mean, you get that with just about any card. I mean, you look at Puzzle of Time, for example, which has spiked up in price quite a bit. If you get 1 in your hand, it's kind of a dead card. If you start out with 2 at the beginning of a game, kind of dead cards.
Yep.
I mean, same thing with, sometimes Sycamore can be a dead card for you, or, a lot of staples in a deck, Max Elixir, lots of different things.
I think this card it's going to completely change the format. This is going to be one of those really crazy strong cards like Puzzle of Time, like Battle Compressor. It's going to be meta defining. I love it.
I don't know if I would necessarily say that it's meta defining personally, but I do think it's a really good card, so I'm not going to disagree with the fact that you might think that it is meta defining. I mean, we'll see how it gets played, but right now there's been a giant uptick in Ultra Beasts just because of the mill decks that are out there. So obviously this isn't something that you would necessarily play under the concept of trying to mill your opponent.
Right.
But it could make those Ultra Beasts not necessarily a mill deck anymore. But we do have some time before this comes out, because this won't come out until before Madison in May. Darrin, do you want to take another one here?
Why don't we, yeah, sure. Why don't we keep going down the Ultra Beast road here and talk about the new Stadium card, Ultra Space. So in SM5 Plus, we have the Stadium card, Ultra Space. It says, it says once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for an Ultra Beast, reveal it, and put it into their hands. Then that player shuffles their deck. This is great. This is just really good support for an Ultra Beast deck. Especially, if you're playing... which one is it where it gets super powered when you have more Ultra Beasts in your discard pile?
I feel like we just talked about that a few weeks ago.
Oh, I think it was a potential card that we were hoping exists soon. Never mind. But I really love this. This is just, really easy peasy support.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is a free Ultra Ball every turn. It's no different than somebody running Brooklet Hill and looking for, water or fighting Pokemon. This is just very specific to Ultra Beasts. It's going to be, a 3 of or a 4 of in every Ultra Beast deck. It really seems like SM5 is super focused on giving Ultra Beast support.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, what do you think of Ultra Space?
I definitely think it's interesting. It'll be a good stadium to run with, basically any of them. So some solid support. The artwork is also super cool. I like it a lot.
I also super like this artwork.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. The first full art stadium.
Oh, please.
Ultra Space.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, man. I'm on my knees, TPCI. I'm on my knees, Card Labs. Make this happen. Oh, please. All right.
It also looks like... go ahead. You were probably going to say it.
I was going to say, also in this leak, there was the announcement of a water-type Palkia GX. It is a reprint, alternate typing of the Dragon-type Palkia GX. So, yeah, it's water-type. It's, attacks have water energy, and it's weak to grass. So there you go. Otherwise, it's the same.
I'm still on the fence about Palkia EX or Palkia GX. I know there's a lot of love for it out there, but I just don't know if I see it yet.
I mean,
I also
it's
don't
okay.
know. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not seeing it either. I don't think. I think Dialga is going to be way better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But this probably also means we might get a metal Dialga.
That's right. It's totally possible.
The one thing I do like about this Palkia GX is the Hydro Pressure attack. Being
Yes.
able to do 20 more damage for each water energy attached. It gives Aqua Patch some more relevance again in the format, since that hasn't really been played with anything except for when Lapras was a thing for a little while.
Ninetales.
Ninetales. And it looks like Aqua Patch is getting reprinted in SM5 Plus. So I don't know if I'm a fan of that or not. I was thinking the other day about Guzma and wondering when they're going to reprint that, because that, as a staple, is starting to climb up in price a little bit. So I don't know, probably a month and a half ago, it was around $1.30 or so a piece for just the regular art. Now it's about $2.40, $2.50, somewhere around there. So as they become less viable, as Burning Shadows becomes a set that less people open, it continues to climb up in price. But you got to imagine that they'll be reprinting it eventually to keep it in format.
Right.
So it's very possible that SM5 Plus, it wouldn't surprise me if it did get a Guzma reprint also. I can't think of anything else currently that is played frequently that they would reprint. I don't think Puzzle of Time or Max Elixir will get a reprint.
I think that's a good guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that they do either.
Yeah, but it's you guys agree that Guzman's going to get a reprint, right? You don't think it's
Absolutely.
just
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
All right. Well, I will take the easy one here, and I'll save the better one for Dan. We did get news about the Ultra Prism pre-release promo, so pre-releases are coming up pretty soon here. They're, what is it, next weekend? The next 2 weekends, so the 20th and then 21st, 27th, and 28th?
That's right.
Very nice. Darren, are there any pre-releases around you?
There are.
Nice. Are you working any of them at all?
You know what? I thought I was, but I actually haven't heard from the TOs around here, so I should get in touch with them and see if I have a pre-release to work or not.
I was looking out for you.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
Of course. So the pre-release promos for Ultra Prism will be Wash Rotom, Lucario, Heatran, and Gumshoes. I'm actually really excited for 3 out of these 4. I think the art on 3 of them look outstanding. Lucario I'm not excited about at all. But I love Heatran's art. I like this tubby little Gumshoes.
Yeah.
And I mean, what is not to like about Wash Rotom aside from
attack.
the fact that it's a terrible card? Hey, you didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
But look how cute the art is.
Yeah, it is. It is a really cute card. Look at him. He's just watching the street. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, doing what a Wash Rotom does.
Wash his clothes.
Wash his clothes and the street. But, Dan, did you look at this Heatran? Don't you think this Heatran looks super cool?
Yeah, the Heatran's awesome. I think that I like the Wash Rotom out of all.
And the tubby little Gumshoes. You just look at him and it makes you smile.
There's his diet of McDonald's, KFC, and a 12-pack of Diet Coke every day.
Yeah.
I'll probably
With his
cut that out.
whack down attack.
Yeah. Whack.
Whap down. Whap.
Yes. Whap.
Cool. All right, Dan, you want to take the last bit of news here, at least that I can think of?
Yeah, how about Buzzwole from SM5 Plus?
I like it.
All right, so we're getting a new Buzzwole. It is a fighting basic type Ultra Beast with 130 HP. It has 2 attacks. His first attack for 1 fighting energy is called Sludgehammer. 30 plus damage. If your opponent has 4 prize cards remaining, this attack does 90 more damage. Then his second attack for fighting colorless. Swing around does 80 plus damage. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 20 more damage for each head. It is weak to Psychic, has no resistance, and a retreat cost of 2. And then, yeah, that's pretty good.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love this card. I don't think it's a 4 of, but I think in your typical Buzzwole deck, you're going to run, it's going to be a 1 of or a 2 of. Like, this is, I mean, it's already such a big deal for your opponent to get down to 4 prizes. Then you put this out there to help with the prize trade. and you're hitting for 120. I don't know if you change over then to Fighting Fury belts in Buzzwole Zoroark, or if you stick with choice bands. But
So you probably stick with choice bands. I was actually talking with Frank about this card the other night when we were streaming, and he's very excited for it. So I think probably at least one, probably more likely two.
I mean, to do
Buzzgarb lists.
120 for, one energy? Come on. You sit behind it, it's got 130 HP. It's not terrible. So I like it.
Yeah, and then we're also we're getting a ground type Torterra that we've talked about before, fighting type Infernape that we've talked about before, and we're also getting a grass type of the Abomasnow we talked about before. So
there you go. All these alternate types. Very, very ingenuitive and exciting.
Yep.
This Torterra, though, 180 HP. Gosh, that's gross.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's, I think,
so bulky.
This was that the second highest non-GX.
Yeah, did Wailord have 200?
200, yep.
This is crazy. 180. When I looked at it, I thought for sure it was a mistake. I was like, there's no way that this thing is that bulky, but it really is. I mean, you're never going to use it because it's not, I don't think it's that good, but I mean, to have 180 HP, it's pretty crazy.
And then it also does 180 damage with its second attack, but ugh.
Cool. Well, I don't think we have any other news really, unless you guys have something.
Nope, I got nothing.
I'm also all good.
All right, let's keep moving the ball along then and talk about some upcoming tournaments. We have Dallas coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
A little over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Hopefully, I think we're actually going to do something. Dan's going to try and set up like a meta forecast preview for Dallas. There has been some interest from our pro team about possibly doing a video talking about some of the decks that they expect to see, planning behind it. I think our entire pro team and a good chunk of our AM team are all going down to Dallas. So that's really cool. And I can tell you right now that there is absolutely no idea about what anybody is going to play because, I mean, that chat just keeps going on with all these different ideas and suggestions, trying to figure things out. But Dallas is looking like it's going to be the new biggest tournament.
Yep.
Yeah, it's looking like we're still 2 weeks out. Get these numbers, guys. Are you ready for this? In the TCG, as of 12 hours ago, so, noon on Tuesday, Dallas Pokemon Regionals is reporting 60 juniors for the TCG, 131 seniors, and 896 masters already.
God, 896. Holy cow.
So, and then VG is 10, 22, and 258. So the totals are 1,087 TCG players already registered and 290 VG players already registered. And we have 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, it's insane. I wonder, I have no idea what it'll get to, but I know historically, they haven't announced a cap for Dallas, have they?
Today they announced that there is a cap, but they didn't say what it is, I don't think. Let me take a closer look. I'll get back to you.
I think it's a fair assumption that it's going to break 1,000. You get a lot of last minute registrations, typically if a cap hasn't been hit yet, which is somewhat surprising because Dallas last year fell on the week of New Year's, and while it was a decently attended tournament, it wasn't huge by any means. So this is probably going to be roughly 3 times that amount. Dan, what are you thinking as far as numbers go? Do you think this will hit well over 1,000?
Yeah, typically, like, people love to pre-register, but also you get the people that, hey, I ended up having the weekend off. Didn't expect to have the weekend off work, but I do, so I'm traveling with my friends who are going to play Pokemon. Or whatever, so you do end up getting a lot of last minute. I would say that we're going to hit at least 1,000 for sure. But I think we're looking closer at 1,100 as far as masters are concerned. I think what's really awesome is that there's over 250 video games. And like, I get it. It's the first tournament of VGC 2018, but that's nuts. That's awesome.
It is really cool. It is. Hey, so here, I found this from January 8th. It says players. The earlier advertised cap of 1,350 total players has been met and exceeded. We are happy to say that we have adjusted our space to accommodate as many players as possible. I will have information on the cap as time progresses. Make sure to sign up as soon as you can, though. So we have to assume that the cap can't be too much more than that. They were hyping up, can we reach 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 total players? It can't. I mean, there's no way it can be much bigger than that. I don't even know if it could get there unless they got another room, maybe. But
I would imagine that they built another room.
Man, yeah, that's just nuts.
Yeah, that's insane. Are they doing online deck registrations for this at all, this tournament? Have you seen anything about that? Because RK9 is involved in this too, right?
I believe they are, because I read something somewhere that RK9 has the expanded all ready to go and set. So I think that, yes, it'll have the online registration.
Nice. What do you guys
awesome?
What are you guys thinking about kind of the play? We've seen so many different things all over the place. Like, there has been a lot of people looking for tropical beaches. There has been an uptick in sales for Whale Lord. I've heard Groudon tossed around quite a bit. Is Groudon being tossed around because of Zoroark? Or is it just other things?
Dan, this has got to be you.
Yeah, are you playing it expanded a lot on Twitch? On TCG?
I've been testing with Frank Persick a lot recently, and while he's way better than me, almost every single list we've been playing includes some form of Zoroark, is Night March, or Buzzwole. There's a really cool Zoroark Toad list that we've been playing that is super fun to play with and very not fun to play against. And the mirror is probably the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And then there's this new, I don't know exactly what it entails, but there's this new Trev list going around also. But we have not even talked about like stall decks, Whale Lords, shock locks, anything that plays beaches, anything with Groudon. I would imagine that Groudon is there to somewhat counter Zoroark, but there's probably better ways to do that than Groudon.
I mean, you could use a Dex Groudon, right, and just tromp with a wide lens, I guess, if you wanted to, and knock out Zaruas on the bench.
I mean, you can do that with Landorus.
True, you can, but Landorus doesn't evolve into a Primal Groudon.
That's true. So, I mean, Primal Groudon, I don't remember. Was it Sam Chin that said it when he was on with us? He doesn't know if Primal Groudon's actually ever been good or not.
Yeah, he said that he doesn't think it's necessarily been a good deck. And I think it was Jimmy Pendarvis who said it. He doesn't think it's ever been a good deck. He just thinks it's been a deck that a lot of people don't understand how to beat. Because they're not used to it. And it's very true. I mean, the thing is, though, is with Lycanroc, I mean, that the benefit of Primal Groudon sitting on your bench, being able to charge it up and just hiding behind Robo-Subs or Wobbuffets, is that they're not going to be able to Lysander it out. They can't escape rope it out. They can't do anything because of its ancient trait. But with Lycanroc, that's a minute point unless you have Wobbuffet active. So if you're hiding behind a Robo-Sub, they can just pull it up. And then I would assume like some decks are going to start running, I don't know. I don't think Primal Groudon's going to be a huge deal. I know Chris Szymanski did decently with it at a League Cup recently, but I think he kind of brought it along just to kind of try and see and write an article.
And he was also talking about how he's just amazed that Expanded has gotten to the point where you can bring a decent old deck and do extremely well because half the field isn't even going to know what your cards do.
Yeah, and that's very true and insane. Like if you have, so let's say Dallas hits 1,200 players, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. It's 1,200 masters. To think that a quarter of the field, to 33%, we'll say, are newer players who weren't around during the black and white era or even the beginning of XY, like that's not, I mean, that's not completely out of the question. If I went up against an Excelgor deck, I would have no idea what's going on. I'd be like, I have no idea how to play against this because I didn't play when that deck was around.
Oh man, Excelgor is fun.
I didn't play when Ray Eels was around. I didn't play when Sable Garb was around. Like all these things that can show up at an expanded tournament. Like when I first started, that's when Trev first started and Primal Groudon first started.
One
So
time
that's as far
I
back as I know.
played Excelgor at a league challenge against Darrin.
Was that the one time I beat you, or did you still beat me that time?
That was the time I won. I think
Okay.
I was playing. I don't remember what I was playing when.
So do you think Dallas is as wide open as it seems with expanded, or do you think like Night March Zoroark is still the deck to beat? And
It's hard to think of anything that isn't playing Zoroark or isn't Night March. Like it's hard to think about something else winning. But I would be surprised if there was less than 8 different decks in top 32 or top whatever it ends up being 34 probably.
Well, it'll be
35.
more than that, yeah.
Well,
It'll
if we're
probably
counting
be
the numbers
37,
right
38.
now, but yeah, it'll probably be up to 38, 39.
Maybe.
But
That's all thanks to, Expanded is a different format too, so we'll have to see how many ties are happening. Generally, Expanded can be faster, but there are stall decks that are more prevalent. So we'll see. We'll have to see where we end up with day 2 placements.
Yeah,
also,
the other thing. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say, I don't know if this was something that you mentioned, but Toad Tina has been coming up in a lot of conversation.
Well, look at special energies.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
that's
Zoroark
why.
Lycanroc doesn't play anything but special energies.
Mm-hmm.
Or Night March doesn't play anything but special energy. So it's easy just to, throw up a Tina if you have to, throw up a Toad and not let them
Yep.
use any items. Like, it's a very real thing. And Tina's been dead for a while now, and now you just get another deck that's making a resurgence. And a lot of these experienced players, they kind of like Expanded because they know the decks so well. And that gives them definitely an upper hand, an advantage going into these tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I was going to say, kind of off the topic, but still related to Dallas Regionals, is I really enjoy what the organizers are doing with the event, with how communicative they're being, with what they're doing in the tournament. Like, we talk about Jimmy Ballard all the time, and we talk about how much we love Jimmy because of how ingenuitive he's being with the game, how he's trying to push the envelope all the time, think of new ideas. Like, everything that they're doing down in Dallas right now, this is kind of coming out of the woodwork a little bit last minute, but their Twitter page is extremely active all the time. So you can go follow them on Twitter and get updates that way. They're running team stages. They're doing free content providers for if you're going down there. Like, a lot of people who have, a team of their own or a YouTube channel, like, they're offering a panel almost for that. Like, they're just doing a lot of fun things to keep things unique for all the players that are going, which I really enjoy and I think is wonderful for the game.
I think
if you're going to Dallas, it's going to be a great experience no matter what.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I think Dallas is going to be a fantastic experience. I can confirm that they are using the online deck registry. And if you do want to follow Dallas Pokemon Regionals on Twitter, the Dead Drug Gaming Twitter, we have been retweeting like practically everything they say. Well, not even close, actually. We're retweeting a good chunk of what they say because it's amazing information and it's just really fun to keep up with this phenomenon that's going on here. But if you want to follow them yourself, it's at Dallas_PKM_REGS. So at Dallas Pokemon Regionals.
Awesome.
Yeah,
There's another. What were you going to say, Dan?
No, I was just going to say a quick shout out to Josh, the guy who runs the Twitter page. And he also did the Memphis one. And he's also going to be doing the Madison one. And he runs the Top Cut Events one. He's just shout outs to him because he's very active and does a very good job at making sure everything is kept up to date.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. And he's kind of an inspiration. I want to be as good as he is.
You're already the very best, like no one ever was.
Oh, just because it's in the name of the podcast.
Exactly. There is going to be another important thing. This isn't Dallas related at all. Registration went out today for Oceania.
That's right.
So that comes up right before Valentine's weekend. The weekend before Collinsville, I believe, is when Oceania is. And that'll be standard. And that'll be the last tournament where Ultra Prism is not legal. So it'll be legal for Collinsville, but not for Oceania. So you can assume that there's going to be a lot of Zoroark Lycanroc running around, but this is obviously in Australia. So there's only going to be, a certain amount of people that are there. But I think I saw earlier today that it was 10% full after the first day.
I have an update. We are already, after 8 hours, over 50% full.
Wow. So if you plan on going, make sure you get registered right away, because if you have a plane ticket for Australia and you can't play in the event, that happened to a lot of people in the UK regional or UK international. That's
right.
not something you want to happen. I know we have a couple people who are going from our pro team that are receiving stipends for being in top 16. I think Frank, Chris, and Caleb all have stipends to go to Oceania.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. So it'll be nice to see how they do over there. I know when we talked to Pram a few weeks ago, he was super excited about Oceania, and kind of he talked about that a little bit too. So we'll see. We'll keep our eye on how quickly that fills up. It sounds like it's going to fill up super fast. Like we might wake up tomorrow. This might be completely irrelevant tomorrow because it might be full already.
It's actually possible. Maybe
but
I don't know.
There's
maybe
no
I'll
cap
try
news for that, right?
No, there is no cap news, and who knows, hopefully, if they do hit the cap within 24 hours, they'll look at trying to, find more room. But I'll do my best to get this posted as soon as possible rather than, closer to midnight. I'll get this up as soon as I can. Try to help our listeners.
Cool. Well, I don't think we need to talk. We'll go a little bit more in depth about Dallas in a couple of weeks probably. And again, you can look forward to kind of that meta forecast video. Hopefully as soon as we get some more word on that. We just have to arrange a few things with the team and try and get that delivered to you. A little bit more in-depth discussion and much more intelligent discussion than I can provide. You guys are probably a little bit better at the meta talk than I am, but it'll be nice when that comes out. So I think we can move on unless you guys have anything else you want to say about Dallas or Oceania.
Like Danny's.
Yeah, really excited.
Yeah, like Danny said, I'll talk with the team tonight and we'll try to get something scheduled, and hopefully that video will be up for you guys ASAP.
Awesome. Well, Darrin, why don't you segue us into our next fun topic?
Man, I really love these. We're going to do our top 5 of the week. This week.
Of the week.
Of the week.
Yeah, you're supposed to sing it.
Oh, no, I don't sing this one. I sing the question
of the week.
Oh, that's right.
We can't sing them all because then it loses its
we have
mystique.
lots of the weeks.
So
we should
start changing the names of some of these.
I like this better. This is weekly top 5.
That's right.
Weekly.
This is more like weekly bottom 5.
Exactly. This week's weekly top 5 is the top 5 worst GXs printed so far. And yeah, I really hope y'all delivered, because I've got 5 here that are straight trash, hot fire in the garbage can.
Oh yeah, I got 5 Garbodors right here.
I got 5 Alolan Raticates that are way better than Darrin has.
Gall dang.
And way more right than what you guys have.
All right. Well, who's starting us out with? We're going from. So number 1 would be the worst. Number 5 would be the 5th worst.
Yes, I'm going last.
All right. What do you got, Darrin? You start us out.
All right. Well, I hope y'all are excited for my number 5 Entei GX. This was like the easiest GX to pull out of all the Shining Legends, and it's not good. It was the worst pull that you could find. It's like, oh man, I got a GX. Is it the Zoroark? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What you got, Dan?
I got Charizard GX at number 5. So I went just straight playability as far as the GXs were concerned and their worstness.
Their worstness.
Or worst dismiss. So I got Charizard at 5.
I've also got Charizard at number 5.
Whoa!
Samesies.
Wow. Samesies. They happen, you know.
Yep. All right, Darren, what you got at number 4?
Darrin, what you got at number 4?
Number 4 is Machamp GX.
My number 4.
Not
Oh,
good.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, just not good.
Yep. Pretty not good at all. My number 4 is Toxapex GX.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
That did not make my top 5. Bottom
Oh.
5. My number 4 is Entei GX. It's very unfortunate because I love Entei so much.
Right.
Why does it have to be so bad?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a sad thing.
Ugh. All right, Darren.
Next
What you
up,
got for number 3?
I grabbed myself some Incineroar GX, and I'm really sad. You know, when you make a starter GX,
What?
yeah, I don't like Incineroar GX. I think it's bad.
Okay. I gotta breathe for a second.
so I had Incineroar in my bottom 10, but I didn't leave it in my top 5. So at number 3, I have Entei GX.
Okay,
At number 3, I have Como GX.
there you go.
I have lost everything.
my number 2 is a Alolan Golem GX.
Boo!
Boo.
It is
Don't
bad,
do me
but
like that.
I didn't put it in my bottom 5 just because of Dan.
Alolan Danlum GX.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
My number 2 is Machamp GX.
There it is.
Wow. My number 2 is also Machamp GX. I think
like
all of
the
us are
same
going to have the
person.
same number 1.
Nope.
Okay.
My-
You already
we'll see.
said my number 1.
My number one's
Really?
Oh,
What you got,
Oh.
Darren?
my number one's Como O.
What?
My number 1 is also Como.
Wow.
What's yours?
Beware GX.
Oh, I totally forgot. Yeah, no, Beware would have been on my list. I didn't look at the promos.
I forgot
I
about
thought
the
this was an
promos.
obvious one.
All right,
Okay.
move everything up one spot and then put Beware at number 1.
Oh, I forgot all about
Totally
promos
forgot
as
about
well.
promos.
God dang it. Yep. Como OGX.
I like Snorlax
bad.
went through my mind. I remembered Snorlax, but totally forgot about Beware. Yep.
But pulverizing pancake.
Yeah, exactly. Those eyeballs.
I remembered it as a GX as I was like going through them all. It was
Wait.
good. Remember it like stormed a regional one time?
Yeah, when it was the only GX in existence.
Still good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of them that I tossed up. It's amazing how bad a lot of these GXs are. Like, Toxapex isn't good. Alolan Golem isn't good. Gyarados hasn't been good.
Yeah, the other ones I wrote down were Incineroar, Mewtwo, Gyarados, Alolan Golem, and Guzzlord.
I don't think Tapu Koko's been very good. Lunala
no.
GX hasn't been very good. Like, it's pretty
Mhm.
much been a standard group with the occasional Tapu Fini and
Yeah, there's been like
Sonnen.
it's kind of been like you either went like the GX is really good or really bad. There's not really been an in between. As far as kind of like Solgaleo is probably one of those in between ones where it's not bad, but it's not something that's gonna like overtake the meta or something, you know?
What do you think of
So-
Solgaleo GX, the current one, now that the new one has been pushed back for 8 or 9 months? Do you think that that's going to see a huge impact once Ultra Prism comes out?
You would think that it would definitely be in people's like testing ideas, but I can't say for sure as if it's going to be something that comes out and just overtakes like the rest of a lot of metal. And who knows, maybe if Dialga GX gets printed as a metal alternate type, that probably would pair really well with Solgaleo.
Probably.
So
Yeah, I'm curious, and I guess this isn't really on the buy sell trade section of the week, but I've been buying up Solgaleos whenever I can find them for a good price, because it's really weird. If you look at stuff on Amazon, for example, a lot of times Amazon's a good place to go and buy cards because some of your staples are going to be a lot cheaper on there. But some of the GXs, some of the more popular Mons, get so much more expensive. Like Solgaleo, a regular GX on Amazon is $9-10, but you can go on TCG Player and buy it for $5. So I've been kind of like slowly starting to hoard up some Solgaleos, thinking that, hey, I think this is going to at least spike in price, and if it doesn't, then we can always just sell them for $8 or $9 on Amazon instead.
Right.
It's kind of like a situation that you can't lose.
I like those.
A smart gamble.
Maybe I should have brought you to Vegas and we could have done that. No.
All right, well, those weekly top fives are always fun. I guess you guys just forgot about Beware GX, which is totally understandable because it's a terrible card. But we can move on to Ultra Prism. There's not a whole lot that we need to discuss on Ultra Prism. It doesn't come out for a little under a month now. We talked about pre-releases before, but we do want to talk about pre-sales a little bit. And one thing that I do think is super odd is that, so there's a lot of websites out there right now that are pre-selling booster boxes and packs and TCGO codes and the 3-pack blisters and all that other stuff. You can't find singles anywhere. I mean, I combed the internet looking at all of the typical websites. I even combed eBay looking for typical listings, and there's nothing. There's no, usually at this point in time, less than a month before the release, there's some stuff out there. Why do you guys think that is?
I mean, it has to be just no one has any confidence in what the secondary market is going to look like yet. I don't know. Isn't this usually how it goes? Someone just has to take the big risk and be the highest priced guy, and then everyone just starts undercutting.
I mean, that's basically how it's gone in the past, right?
Right. Who's ever brave enough to go out first, and then everyone follows suit.
Dan, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like we've asked ourselves the same exact question every single time a set comes out. Why haven't we found anything yet? And Darrin said it. It's just, you would think that with more vendors kind of popping up, that this is something that would start coming sooner and sooner. But it's almost been the opposite, where it's been later and later. And we just don't know. Everyone waits for someone else. You know, like we said. And it's almost like, okay, well, when are we gonna start seeing someone on eBay do pre-order? And then people kind of start trickling in from there. But I don't know that there's like any explicit reason that we still don't have anything because of the set itself. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with the cards in the set, if that's what you're wondering.
No, I was just trying to get your opinions, because I do have a theory behind it all. And I'm not going to disagree with you guys. I do think it's usually that you wait for somebody else to post and then you kind of piggyback off of what they posted. I think Crimson Invasion completely changed things because you went from an expectation of 6 to 7 to 8 ultra rares in every box to Crimson Invasion coming out, and you were lucky if you got 5 in a box. I think the addition of these Ultra Prism cards make everything completely unknown. Like, is Ultra Prism going to be as rare as an Ultra Rare? Is it going to be as rare as a Rainbow Rare? What's its rarity level going to be? Is it going to be 1 per box? Is it going to be 2 per box? I think the fact that there's just this big unknown out there as far as what this set is going to produce as far as pull rates go make people super hesitant. And because bulk has just died so much, I think a lot of people are also hesitant to go out and make giant pre-orders for themselves because they don't, there's good cards in this set, but there's going to be a lot of stuff in this set that's going to fall into bulk. And if you can't sell that, you can't profit off a box. Why do you want to open up 80 or 100 boxes if you don't know what you're going to get? Sure, you're going to be able to sell your code cards, you're going to be able to sell the ultra rares, but all these commons and uncommons that aren't, valuable, those are just going to sit. They're worth 2 cents, 2.5 cents right now. So why take the risk? I also think that there are a lot of vendors who have kind of disappeared. I think a lot of people are hesitant, and there's been, I think, the giant release of what happened over the Christmas season, the holiday season, where you had these holo boxes, Shining Legends, Crimson Invasion, all of these different releases with the boxes really, really took its toll on a lot of smaller vendors, where they were anticipating, they were trying to plan, they were doing the same thing, they didn't adjust their level of planning, and it kind of bit them in the butt. So I think a lot of people have kind of disappeared. At least that's what I've noticed so far. So I think that's part of the reason, is that there's just not enough people out there who are vending anymore. And I think a lot of people are suffering that are vending. And I think that the fear of pull rates for this set is kind of making people hesitant as far as making pre-order pricing. I mean, if this was just a normal set which didn't have these star cards introduced, I think it would be different. But I mean, we have no idea what to expect. It could be like Evolution Secret Rares where you got like 40 of them in a box, and they were pre-selling those for, I don't remember, but a lot, assuming that they were going to be actual secret rares. So who knows how this is going to be. So I think that's kind of my theory behind it all, is it's just the world of unknown.
That makes a lot of sense. You're so smart, Danny.
Thanks. I try.
I think that's exactly it. People don't have bulk prices to fall back on and are definitely, rightfully so, afraid of pull rates.
Yeah, so I don't know when we're going to have necessarily our singles on pre-sale. We probably won't, to be honest with you, because we don't typically for any other set. What we do is we have people send us a request for a list, and then we base our prices off of what the current rates are when we open the packs up, when we open the boxes up. And it costs us a little bit, we lose a little bit, but at least we can guarantee to fulfill every order. You know, we don't make promises and take money without having the actual inventory on hand, knowing that we can send it out. There's a lot of drama over the last couple of sets where bigger companies and vendors took in pre-orders and then didn't end up pulling, the proper quantities to fulfill those pre-orders. And then they were kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place where they could either go and try and find those singles, refund the money, or buy more boxes and try and, pull the cards that were requested.
That's really tough. Hopefully they didn't, use that pre-sale money to buy the boxes they currently had, and then they're, sitting on their hands.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We do have, we did sell out of our PTCGO code pre-order for it. We do still have a limited amount of booster boxes available for pre-order on the website, so you can take advantage of that if you're interested. Otherwise, you can message us directly. But we do have a set amount that is allocated to us, so we obviously have to hold on to a certain amount for us to open, and hopefully that will happen close to a week before. Have we talked about what we're doing for Ultra Prism yet?
No, we have not.
Oh, do you want to talk about that?
I would like you to talk about it.
Okay.
We as a group should definitely.
All right, so we don't have necessarily 100% of the details yet because a lot of it's going to depend on when the boxes come. No matter what, when Dallas Regionals is going on, everybody's going to be at the studio, and by everybody I mean myself, Dan, and Darrin, and hopefully we'll be opening up a bunch of boxes, assuming that they're here. If for some reason they're not, we're still going to be here doing other stuff. But we do have visitors coming from out of state, I guess. Yeah, they're all out of state. So Papa Blastoise is coming over. Trainer TV is coming over. And Purple Cliff is coming over. So they're all flying in. I believe they're flying into Papa the day before they come here. And then they're all getting in a car and driving over here that Saturday before release, which would be January 27th. So you can look for a lot of content coming out the 27th and 28th, possibly the 29th. It all depends on what we can all do. A lot of it's going to depend on when the boxes get here, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't necessarily have a whole lot of detail as far as what we're all going to do, but I would assume we're going to be streaming a lot. I would assume we're going to be recording a lot of videos, and we're probably going to just have a lot of fun.
Ooh, I like fun.
Who doesn't like fun? Dan, are you excited for this?
This is going to be my favorite thing in the world ever. This is a set release. I mean, I love set releases on their own, but getting to do a set release with 3 amazing content creators is just, and then Aaron, Papa, and Cliffy, should be good.
They're good friends of ours. So.
Haha. See my joke?
That was a good joke.
I told you to type jokes in the chat so I can take credit for them.
Sorry. I'll get you next one.
Batman. Thank you. So pay attention. We'll definitely announce things on social media as we go through. But I'm going to try and get as much information as I can. It's just tough. A lot of it's going to depend on TPCI and when they're going to ship out the boxes to the distributors. And the main issue is that a lot of people were breaking street date on booster boxes. So TPCI really put a crackdown on how quickly vendors were able to get this product. So even though we're allowed to have them, we're just not allowed to ship them until release date. It kind of hurts the rest of us by a lot of vendors breaking rules. So we'll see how it goes, but pay attention to all of our social media outlets, and we'll keep you updated on everything. And hopefully you guys can join us, because no matter what, we'll do some fun stuff.
I like fun stuff. I just want to think of something super incredible and just completely original to do. I'm gonna think really hard. We have a few weeks.
Yeah, we do. So we can transition on. We'll talk more about Ultra Prism as it comes a little closer, and hopefully be able to give you some news as far as pre-order pricing goes for singles. Hopefully the set is as big as what we're anticipating. The hype seems to have died down a little bit, especially with Solgaleo GX, the promo box being pushed back. But we'll see how things go. With that, I do want to talk. I know we're running low on time, but I do want to talk about the Danny box for the week, just because it's important to me. And I know we've touched on this topic a little bit in the past, and I don't really have any motivational stories. This is more of a Danny box discussion more than anything. But I've touched on this before as far as making sure that you do something every day. And there comes this tipping point in your business or in your career or in your life or whenever, whatever you're doing, where you kind of just go all in. And that's kind of the point that I'm at right now. And we talked before last week about resolutions, and we talked about what we want to accomplish. And I was sitting down and I was re-listening to the podcast, not so much the Jimmy portion of it, but more our portion of talking about resolutions and goals and things like that. And I know Darrin and I and Dan, we all set goals, and we talked about getting YouTube to like 5,000 subscribers and getting Twitch partnered and getting 1,000 views a day on the website. And I'm like, as I'm listening to this, I'm like, well, I don't want to just settle for that. Like, I don't want that to be my goal, because I want my goal to be something that really drives me to do something impossible, something that really nobody thinks is going to be done. So I sat down and I started writing out things, and I'm like, you know what? I think if we put the work in, we can get to 25,000 subs on YouTube. If we advertise right, if we market right, if we produce enough content, we can easily do that. And I started just thinking of all these different dreams and all these different aspirations that I have. And I started thinking about this whole going all in. And that's when I kind of adapted this mantra of going all in 2018, because I think that this is it. Like, this is the make it or break it year for us. I think 2018 needs to be our year. And at the end of 2018, if we look back and we're not there yet where we need to be, then I don't know if there's really that much of a point in continuing, because you're not pushing yourself hard enough then, if that makes sense. So I started just writing down everything. Like, I've been carrying a notepad around with me everywhere I go, writing down ideas, writing down thoughts, writing down opinions. I started literally all the time. I'm looking at card prices, looking at what I can buy, what I can sell. And it was just, I think that over this past week, the amount of work that just came out of nowhere, that I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, really it was crazy to me. Like, sitting back and reflecting on the week was just insane. Like, we had so many great things happen over the week, and it was just the motivation, I guess, that I needed to kind of push to the next level. And if you get that feeling, that's the feeling that you live for, the feeling that you are unstoppable, that nobody is going to stop you. I don't know, this is going to sound super weird, but there was a point over the past couple months here where I felt kind of alone, where I was like, I don't know where to go. I felt lost, if that makes sense to you guys. I was like, we're trying and we're pushing and it's just not happening. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, it's going to happen. I started really believing in myself again and really believing in what we're trying to accomplish. And then I just started telling myself that 2018, I'm just going to work harder than anybody's ever worked before. Dead Draw Gaming is just going to completely blow up. I'm going to start taking everything more seriously. I started working on the studio a lot more. I started working on uploading cards to the website a lot more. I started working on doing a better job of keeping in contact with people and talking about looking at different outlets like eBay and Amazon and Mercari and Facebook, everything to try and find good pricing on cards, trying to turn around and sell those cards, trying to keep up with the team, order hoodies. Like I ordered hoodies, like getting everything done, planning out everything possible and just going all in. And it's 1 week. 1 week I was able to get all of this stuff accomplished. And I am going to continue just pushing myself to do that until I get burned out and can't move anymore. But when you have this fire ignited in you, I don't think you can get burned out. I don't think that anything, I feel unstoppable. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way that I feel or not, or if anybody out there understands what I'm talking about, but it's almost like I have so much confidence in myself right now, and I feel like I can't do anything wrong. And I know that sounds cocky and arrogant, but it's not. It's confidence. I believe in myself so much, and I believe in the two of you, and I believe in what we can do and what we can accomplish, that I literally don't want to sleep. It used to be that I couldn't sleep because I was like, I've got to do this and I've got to do this. But now it's more, I don't want to sleep because I would rather do this or I would rather do that, because I think 2018 is our year and I'm putting it all on the table. I'm going knee deep, all in, everything. By the end of 2018, Dead Draw Gaming will be the sole survivor. It will be I don't want to stop at 25,000 subscribers. I don't want to stop at 25 million subscribers on YouTube. I want to take this to a level that nobody ever thought possible. And I want people to tell me that it's not going to be done, because then I'm just going to sit there when I'm on the top and I'm just going to look at them and I'm going to say, well, guess what? You were wrong. All in for 2018. I guess it's kind of a Danny box. It's more just my thoughts spoken aloud and saying, this is what I want everybody to live for. This is what I want you guys to think. Figure out what it is that you want to do this year and go all in for it, whatever it takes.
I love it. Man, I'm fired up.
There was one time during this week where I had talked to Dan, or I got to talk to Dan, I should say. And after I went through a spiel like this, he didn't say anything, and I thought I lost him. But maybe I just made Dan speechless again. I don't know.
I mean,
it's a tough thing to do.
Well, yes.
Well said.
Nah, it's just hard to sit here and kind of imagine it, I totally believe in our ability to do all the things that you're saying, and I think that we will, but it's kind of just crazy to think about what the end goal is, and it's kind of hard to imagine myself being there. Like I was saying, I know we can do it. It's just, I think that we're going to get to a point where it starts growing to a point where we almost can't comprehend it. And I very much look forward to that point in time.
Hallelujah.
Man, it's going to be soon. It's going to be very soon that our day jobs are going to be our old jobs. It's coming, guys.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I've said this before, that I've never been so hyped or so pumped up, but there comes times where you just get exhausted and you get frustrated, and it's totally normal. And I went through a period of that for a little while and questioned myself on what I'm going to be able to do. Nothing grows as fast as you want it to. But I think looking back and reflecting more and more, I'm very happy where we are at. And I'm just ready to explode and not stop until it happens. But we can move on. All right. Well, with that, we can move into our question of the week.
Question of the week. Oh, yeah. This is so fun, you guys. Our question of the week, as posed by, we're going to say, it was Jimmy, but it was actually Danny. What kind of things would you like to see and or do at a regional event besides just the main event? Would it be something new or something that used to be at regionals but you can't, it doesn't happen anymore? We got quite a few actually super cool responses. Like, these were good ideas, and I don't know, man. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was just really happy with these responses. So let's start at Facebook. Steven says, more signings and appearances from card artists and popular YouTubers. The UK gets none of this, even at internationals. Except for, Darrin responds, except for we have PTCG radio, so, that's kind of, pretty good. Louis or Luis, did we ever find out how to say his name?
He never told us. He just commented. We're just going to go with Luis.
Okay. He said add a trivia game show. I think that's super cool. I love trivia a lot.
Oh, that's nice.
A silly amount. It's kind of stupid how much I like trivia. Next up, we have John. He said more Melee setups. I know a lot of people really like Melee, so I can see that. Aaron L. You guys may know who he is.
Never heard of her.
He or she would like to see a video of the location, kind of like what they do for Worlds. Man, I think that'd be a lot of fun to do something like that,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Take some video from around a regional. And then Kai said, honestly, I don't really want to see anything. I'm just there for the main event. Well, more power to you. Can't blame you. And now, let's jump over to our Discord channel. From our Discord channel, our first response comes from DDG Chris. He says, League Cup, Day 2. And It's Ryan agrees it'd be great to have League Cups rather than challenges. DDG Cam says, how about Hall of Fame format? And let's see, next up, Jet Black. It would be fun to have some YouTube personalities commentate a couple of the early rounds. I know that Dallas has tables open for them to stream or whatever, but to promote them as commentator for a round or two may be a fun option as well. Or maybe have them commentate like a junior or seniors match. That would be pretty cool.
That was Jack Black?
Jet Black. One of our new Patreon or Twitch subs.
Patreon.
Oh, so yeah, cool, very cool. And then to Colonel,
Jack Black gives us money to create content, you guys.
That's fake news. To Colonel says Project Pokemon movies or TV shows in specific areas for public viewing. That would be pretty cool.
They actually did that. That was the one good thing about Lancaster 2015 is there was actually a room where they were playing the Pokemon movies all day.
Heck yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great. And then he would also like to see League Cups. So, great ideas there. Hopefully some of our regional TOs were listening to those. So yeah, that's great. What do we got? Does anyone got a question of the week for this week?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
What is the worst Pokemon GX and why?
Everyone's just going to say beware.
They are going to say beware. No, but you can't say beware.
No, you can say whatever you want. Y'all can say whatever you want. Question of the week.
Whatever you'd like.
Question of the week this week is, what do you believe is the worst Pokemon GX printed? Let us know on our Discord channel, on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on Twitch. Email us. We just want to hear from you. So thank you very much, guys. Another fantastic question of the week. It's my favorite part.
Awesome.
My favorite part is when you sing.
I really like that part too.
All right, for buy sell trade of the week, we talked about Solgalios a little bit. I did get some more Zoroarks in. I actually bought 11 Executes
Nice.
the propagation one.
Mm-hmm.
I found them for $2 a piece, and I was looking at them because they were selling. When I was looking at them on TCG Player, I noticed that they were above $4, and I was like, "Whoa, we don't even have any anymore." So I was combing to see if I could find any, and I found a website that was selling them for $2 a piece. So I just bought all of them because I figured it would be a good investment.
I think so.
And then I've got some Lele's coming in, and I've got I'm really excited about I got our Rockets Suicune EX coming in.
Ooh.
So that's a little old school. And I did get word that our graded cards should come back at some point in the next few weeks. So I'm really excited to see what those got. I'll probably shoot a video going over the grades.
I would
Those
love
would
to
be
see
fun
that.
to look at. Yeah. So other than that, I've just been looking as hard as I can to find something. It's tough because when you have a website that you sell pretty strictly on finding ways to mitigate the fees that you get charged for, whether it be a credit card payment or a PayPal fee or something like that, and then you have to factor in shipping. So it's tough to find cards where the margins are going to be strong enough. And a lot of that is why we've been focusing a lot on older cards. More so probably than the newer cards, but also trying to keep in those staples like Zoroark and Tapu Lele. Like that's tough to do. Like Bridget, for example, is a $7 card. Well, it's very difficult to find it for less than $5. Where it would make sense to buy. So we're just on the lookout at all times, trying to figure stuff out. So that about does it. I think we can move into open discussion. Anything you guys want to talk about?
I got one slightly quick thing. For the month of January, at least, I'm going to attempt to stream every single day this month.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment, man.
Yep.
That is a big commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got to do to get partnered, right?
Yeah, if you guys are listening to us live right now at this exact moment that we're recording, I'm about to hop on in a few minutes, so come join me.
Yeah, you have two audience members, unless you count Jeb.
Yep, and all of Darren's dogs.
Nah, they're upstairs. They're in bed.
Those lucky dogs.
Oh, there's the joke. Ah! You're the funniest one.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Danny, do you have any open discussion?
No, I'm pretty good. I had a lot of fun just kind of talking, and it's nice to do this podcast because it's just good to unwind a little bit and talk shop and not have to worry about, just I converse a lot inside my own head and then I think I'm crazy. So it's nice to actually talk out loud to other people about Pokemon instead of just myself.
No, it's good. That's really good.
Darren, do you have anything for open discussion this week?
Man, I've got some really neat content coming soon. So I'm in the works. I'm planning a video about practicing and how to better your prep game for the Pokemon TCG. Planning that out with Ryan Turner, really cool guy. He's one of our Discord members.
One of our patrons.
That's right. Oh man, also we got our 2017 year in review from Patreon, and 2017 was pretty baller for Dead Draw Gaming. Like, our supporters are the best. Like, thank you so much to all of our patrons out there. You are the DDG family. We love you. You are the best.
Totally agree. Awesome. Well, I think that's everything that we have this week's episode. And take us home.
All right. So, you guys, if you enjoyed episode number 66 of Dead Draw Gaming, a Pokemon TCG podcast like no one ever was, make sure to hit that like button down below and share this podcast with all of your friends. Make sure to check us out next week for episode number 67, which will be coming to you at regular time. But that's all we have this week, you guys. So, for Darren, for Danny, and for myself, Dan, we will see you next time.